Alrighty guys, it is Quadman here today, and boy oh boy, if you have not seen Dragon Ball Super episode 124 and you do not want to be spoiled, I suggest you leave now because this video will contain insane spoilers about the Tournament of Power. So I'm going to give you guys my warning and we're going to continue this conversation because boy oh boy, there is a lot to talk about. So now that the warning is out of the way, let's get this party started. So, guys, Gohan and Dispo both lost. And if you guys want me to be completely honest with you, I completely expected it to go this way. If you guys remember, I did a live stream, and for those of you who didn't tune in, I did a live stream talking about what do Gohan fans want out of the Tournament of Power, and I gave my predictions as to how Gohan was going to lose, and I said to myself, I could see Gohan lasting all the way to the end with Goku, or I could see Gohan fighting against an uber tier character and going out with a bang by getting himself and that uber tier character eliminated. I originally predicted that that uber tier character was going to be Toppo, so I got the character wrong, but the concept of what I was expecting was right. I said that Gohan was going to go out taking an uber tier character with him. We saw from this episode that Dispo was even faster than what we expected because not only was he giving hit problems with this time skip, but he was also giving Golden Frieza problems. So he's essentially the perfect example of a glorified birder, which is why I felt the Dispo fight with Frieza was awesome, and I'm going to talk a little bit more of that later. But talking about Gohan specifically, guys, Gohan lost, and I think that there are a lot of reasons as to why this episode should anger you, and why this episode should make you happy. So, I always like talking about the positives first, guys, so let's talk about why you should be happy about this episode. Well, first of all predictions aside, Gohan went out like a champ. In the sense that, although Dispo is not as glorified as Toppo and Jiren have been in the Tournament of Power, because obviously those are the two characters that everybody's looking forward to, I don't think you could really say defeating Dispo in a fight is really undercutting your character. Now, yes, I understand a lot of people don't care as much about Dispo as they do Toppo and Jiren. That's completely obvious, and Dispo really didn't have a lot of development. He was just the third strongest guy of Universe 11 because they just kind of left him around after the hit fight. So, obviously, there's not going to be that level of connection of saying, oh, wow, Gohan took out Toppo or Gohan took out Jiren. Like, that's not there. But he still took out one of the top 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 of the guys of the Tournament of Power. And I definitely think that that is something that we should be happy for. And also, guys, let's look at what Gohan has done in the Tournament of Power up until this point. I don't think we can say that Gohan didn't do anything. Did he do everything that we wanted to? No, and I'm going to talk about that in a second as to why this episode should anger you. But in terms of what Gohan did right, I really enjoyed his moment with Abudi when Gohan had to defeat a character from Universe 10 who had a very similar lifestyle to him with both a wife and a child. That was one of the deepest moments of Dragon Ball because Gohan is this loving, good-hearted character, and he had to defeat another good character from what we presume from Obuni, and he had to defeat him in order for his universe to survive, and in order for his wife and child to survive. So, from that specific moment, I definitely think Gohan already had one of the best moments in the Tournament of Power. And then when you couple this with the fight against Universe 2 and Universe 6, Gohan and Piccolo did have a good time fighting against the Universe 6 Namekians, where Piccolo had to defeat his own race, and Gohan, with a simultaneous Kamehameha with Goku, had to put out both Universe 2 and Universe 6, and Gohan was one of the key characters that led to the defeat of both Universe 2 and 6 respectively. So, looking at it from that perspective, you have a character who had a deep moment, you had a character who had multiple knockouts in the Tournament of Power, you had a character that was instrumental in helping to defeat Universe 11 because he took out one of the big characters that was giving Frieza a big time. So from that perspective alone, I am happy with what they did with Gohan. But I also have another side to this coin, guys, and there's also reasons why I'm angry about this. So, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, what pissed me off about this would have to be the fact that there was so much hype that was going up to Gohan, and I think that the expectations were not reached. So, in a way, I'm satisfied with the expectations, but that doesn't mean that I'm happy with how they were fulfilled. Looking at it from what we expected, guys, before the Tournament of Power, we saw Gohan training with both Piccolo, Tien, and Goku. And we saw that Gohan was talking about how he wants to get this new transformation that's going to be even better than what Goku has. And although as Dragon Ball fans, we should not expect other people other than Goku and Vegeta to get a major transformation, I still think it gave us a lot of hope. And I think that when you look at all of what Gohan fans have waited for, and you guys know I'm being unbiased because Gohan is my second favorite character in the series, and being completely honest with you guys, I feel like the resurrection of F-Saga, I feel like the Universe 6 tournament where Gohan was omitted, I feel like the Zen exhibition match where Gohan, you know, went out in a similar fashion fighting against a significantly weaker character in Lavenda to prove that he's willing to fight to the end. I feel like all of that, guys, I feel like all of the buildup of bringing Gohan back to fight because he was, you know, too busy, you know, working at his highly scholarly job and, you know, being a family man with both Videl and Pan, I felt like all of those moments just didn't add up, guys. I feel like there was too much buildup for Gohan to be in the Tournament of Power, and what we got just didn't make the cut, guys. That's the one thing that pissed me off. And if I were to talk more specifically about moments, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I feel like the episode was kind of unnecessary with the way that Frieza was having to defeat Gohan the same way that Piccolo had to defeat Goku and Raditz at the same time. When you go back to that scene, there are 5 members of Universe 7 that are around. Now, I understand that Frieza ran out of energy when he was trying to trap Dispo with all of those energy beams, and that was a very interesting, you know, sequence, seeing that Dispo was kind of trapped, so his speed was essentially useless. But Gohan and 17 were fighting neck and neck with each other in just the previous episode, but all of a sudden it seems like everybody else is kind of just absent. And I understand that they're busy fighting against Toppo and Jiren, I completely see that. But you mean to tell me for a split second you were about to lose one of the top characters in the Tournament of Power, and you have no interest in going over to at least assist in the very least that you possibly can? I like that Gohan went out like a champ, and I like that Gohan was willing to give his own spot in the Tournament of Power to take out Dispo, because obviously if you do the math, you have 5 characters from Universe 7 and you have 3 characters from Universe 11. So if Gohan takes himself out and you take out a member from Universe 11, now you're kind of shaping the odds even better in your favor. So I understand that. And I think it was also so forced that you had to pick Frieza of all people to be the one who was more than willing to blast Gohan out of the Tournament of Power. Like, it was like, you couldn't have made Gohan go out like a champ in any other way. You had to make it the most devious character on Universe 7 to take Gohan out. And I felt like it was like, come on, man. Like, it didn't have to be such a generic cliche, I have to hold Dispo to take him out by the most evil villain in Dragon Ball history that also happens to be my teammate. It seems like the writing was so carefully aligned that the stars said that Gohan had to take out Dispo and Frieza had to be the one to do it. Like, it was just out of place, and it also felt like Dragon Ball Super's like, we gotta wrap this series up in March, we gotta take somebody else out. Let's take out Gohan. And if you guys want me to be completely honest with you, I would have looked more forward to seeing Gohan fighting against a character like Jiren or Toppo. That would have been a lot better, honestly. And also, if you wanted to make a character expendable, make Android 17 lose taking out Dispo. Or make Gohan and 17 fight against Dispo and, you know, 17 loses and Gohan survives. And I'm not trying to put Gohan above Android 17, but I just think that the build-up for Gohan was a lot higher than the build-up for 17. 17 had 2 episodes to recruit him, and that was essentially it. Other than that, we hadn't seen him in years, so he was just essentially just another strong guy that we needed for the Tournament of Power. But for Gohan, this meant a lot more to both Gohan fans and Dragon Ball fans, and I definitely have mixed opinions about this episode. So, with everything else said, guys, that has been my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super episode 124 in terms of my reaction. With everything else said, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys. And were you happy or angry about this episode? I'll be posting a poll and seeing all of your thoughts.